What's poppin', y'all? It's your girl fiance back again with another video. As you can see by the title, today we are going to be talking about my favorite trash TV show on Netflix, Love is Blind. If you guys have not seen my season 1 review from like 2 years ago, go check it out. I don't even remember what I said in that video. I just remember because I can talk. I just remember that it was a little bit chaotic. I was all over the place, but we will be trying to be more structured this time around, and I will try to talk slower and enunciate because I tend to run out of breath when I get passionate about these stupid people and this ridiculous show. Okay, so if you guys don't know what Love is Blind is, it is a Netflix reality TV show where 15 men and 15 women get together in pods and basically fall in love off of conversation, off of their personalities, anything but looks. I mean, I think they can describe themselves or like their ethnic backgrounds or something, but you don't know what the person looks like, so anything that they tell you is just what they tell you. So let's get right into it. In the beginning, like the first episode, they kind of deceive you a bit because, you know, usually with these types of shows, they gravitate to the people they think are going to be, or that they want the audience to think is going to be like, oh, this will be your couple, or this person has a good background story or whatever. They started out, which made me so upset, a chubby black girl, which I kind of related to. I mean, and I thought she was going to fall in love or find love or whatever, but she ended up not being one of the couples. Also, before y'all get into this video, spoiler alert, okay? But yes, so there were lots of people I thought were going to get more attention, or that they were going to be able to be the ones that find love, but some were not. Some people, there was this girl on there named Trisha. She was ridiculous. Only thing she talked about was her Instagram followers and like the types of things that she does on her Instagram, and she was very conceited and thought all the guys wanted her, and really they thought she was dumb and like ditzy and just not that great. The couples that ended up moving forward were Danielle and Nick. I think that was his name. Nick? I don't know. That couple right there, this is the first couple I will start off with. I do not like that couple. I like the guy, okay? I like the guy. I think there's nothing really about him that stands out to me per se, but I do think that he's a decent guy. Danielle, on the other hand, she lets all of her insecurities get in the way, and anything that happens, she just makes it about her being how she lost 70 pounds and she's just so insecure. And I'm like, you losing weight should not be a personality trait, and you should not let those insecurities hold you inside of this relationship or whatever. Mind you, these relationships, so you get 10 days in the pod, where you know, getting to know each other, and then you go on like a honeymoon vacation type of situation, and then you have like maybe 3 to 4 weeks where you guys live together and see your natural habitat and functions and things that you do there, and then there's the wedding. So when they were in their home section of everything, she was showing way more red flags. She had already shown a little bit of red flags in their honeymoon vacation type thing in Mexico, where she just started arguing with him because she thought that she seen him talking to another girl, but it was all the pod couples together in like a party type of situation, and she wasn't able to go because she was sick, and she thought that she seen him talking to someone, which was completely fine because she made him go to the party alone. He offered to stay with her, but she said no. I'm like, if you were going to be insecure about him going, then you shouldn't have, you know, even said, yeah, go ahead and do your thing. He wanted to stay there and take care of her and, you know, be the person that he's going to be, because they're supposed to be married, okay? Like, of course he was going to try and stay with her. Like, he needs to prove to her, like, hey, I'm going to be there for you, you know? But she's the one who decided to let him go. The other couple that I wanted to talk about is Mallory and Salvador. Now, they are a strange pair-up because Mallory was actually in a love triangle with a guy named Jarrett and a girl named Ayana. Jarrett actually wanted to be with Mallory, but Mallory said that her connection with Salvador was a little bit stronger. I don't necessarily see why she felt that way. I did think that her connection with Jared was a little bit stronger. However, I did not want her to be with Jared because something about her personality is rubbing me the wrong way and continues to rub me the wrong way. She seems super dry and like she's just not, like something's not connecting there. Salvador is a really, really nice guy. I low-key think he's like a little bit corny. Like he sings and plans dates and stuff like that. And you're probably thinking that I sound super toxic for saying that, but it's very repetitive. Like he's just doing a lot to me. And maybe Mallory's a girl like me where she doesn't really know how to accept over niceness or something, which sucks. Which when Jared and Mallory met up at the group meeting in their honeymoon style thing in Mexico, they were having a really deep conversation. Salvador started feeling some type of way, and Ayana started feeling some type of way. And I'll get into Ayana and Jared's story in a little bit. But they started feeling really insecure because there was that love triangle there. And I can't even really call it a triangle. I guess we could call it a love square. I don't think that salary. Hey, that's a good mashup name. I'm going to coin that phrase, okay? Salary. Salvador and Mallory, I don't think that they are going to be that couple. If they are, I will be genuinely surprised, okay? Genuinely surprised. Now, I know I said I was going to get into Jared and Ayana, but we need to go to this disaster couple. His name started, I don't know, he's very forgettable to me. The entire time, homeboy was named Kyle, and I repeatedly call him something else. I deeply apologize, but again, very, very forgettable. Now, I know one of their names was Nate, and I know one of their names was Nick. I think this one is Nick. It was Nick and Shayna. Nick and Shayna. Shayna, baby. I don't like her. Like, I've never met this girl in my life, but judging by her character, I do not like her at all. So, there was yet another love square. Shayna and Shane. They were, flirting and stuff like that. To me, their relationship seemed very superficial. Every time that he would go into the pod, the first thing that he would do was ask her what she was wearing. She'd be like, oh, my crop top and my sweatpants and my cardigan. He's like, yeah, I love that type of outfit, blah, blah, blah. Like, boy, boo. So their relationship felt really superficial to me. They didn't really seem like they were having like genuine conversation. It just seemed like, oh yeah, what are we gonna do when we get out these pods and blah, 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 right? She never really came out and said, hey, Shane, I have strong feelings for you. I want to be with you. And she also had Nate, whatever his name is, in name. I don't know. So she had him waiting on the side. And she genuinely, I think Shane was her number one. She liked him, whatever. But Shane was over here telling Natalie, hey, you're my number one. And Natalie was actually the one who was like, yeah, Shane, from day one, like, yeah, I like you. You're the one I want to be with. And Shane was the one stringing it along because he wanted to make sure that Shayna actually had feelings for him. And she never came out and said it, which, made them not be together. So Shane ends up proposing to Natalie. And once Shayna found out, she went to Nate, Nick, Nathaniel, or whatever his name is. She went to him and, basically accepted his proposal because he was 100% sure about her. She was on the fence, but since Shane shut her down, she went to her second choice, which I think was stupid anyways. And so she instantly started trying to create issues with this guy. Like, he proposes to her, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, do you believe in God? God is so important to me. I love God and blah, 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 blah. Not questioning anybody's religious values, but all of a sudden you're like a devout Christian when the guy you don't actually want to be with decides to propose to you. And my thing is, you say yes. Why say yes if this was going to be an issue for you? Apparently he's an atheist, but he was open to whatever she wanted because he was in love with her. But those kinds of things don't happen or change overnight, even though this is supposed to be like, oh yeah, a fast situation and everybody's supposed to be all hunky-dory, let's fall in love, let's get married and stuff like that. Changing your whole belief system does take time. And she was like, oh, I'm not trying to change your mind, but this is so important to me. And this is what she was telling him in front of his face. But every time confessional came on, oh, I can't stop thinking about Shane. I love Shane. And he was my first choice. And like, girl, Jesus did not tell you to lie to that man. If it's really that you love somebody else, keep it a stack. Like, I mean, he don't want you now anyways, but whatever. So Shayna and Nick, Nate, Nathaniel, whatever his name is, break up because she can't get over her religious issues. And she goes to some sort of link-up party that the podcast have. And she goes to Shane and is all like, while he's while he's engaged to Natalie and she's over there in the corner, he's over here having a conversation with old girl like, she's over here, oh, you guys' relationship is fraud. It's comical. I can't get with that. And she called Natalie on some fake friend stuff, talking about, oh, well, when you and Shane don't work out, I have a guy for you over here, blah, blah, blah. Talking about some, oh my God, Shane, why did she take that out of context? You should not be with her because she doesn't know how to take a joke. Like, girl, Miss Girl. So my thing is he entertained that conversation. And to me, if that was my man, I would have been like, why didn't you call me over so we can throw hands? Like, she should not be talking to you like that about me. And you should not be letting her talk to you like that about me. Like, one thing that I will say I appreciated, I guess, was that he told Natalie about the conversation immediately after it happened. Which I'm like, okay, you get a couple points. But regardless, you should have shut that down. Next up to bat, we have Shane and Natalie, who were also a part of the Love Square. I don't really like them together. I mean, something that sticks out about them to me is that Shane is a himbo. If you don't know what a himbo is, it's a boy, like bimbo or whatever. Like, he's dumb. Like, ain't nothing computing up there in that noggin, you feel me? So apparently he spends like $2,000 a month on food, and I'm like, shorty, how? That's why I feel like the people on this season have money. They have like big old penthouse looking apartments in Chicago. And I'm like, oh yeah, y'all gotta be making some money. Shane has a decent job or whatever. But I feel like that in literacy, financially, and otherwise, that Natalie is way smarter than him. I feel like their pairing is very, very strange to me. I feel like they're going to be the ones that surprise me and actually end up being married. Just because for some reason she feels like their dynamic works. I don't necessarily think it does. Also, Shane seems like a crybaby to me. Now, there's going to be people that argue and be like, oh, well, Natalie's just rude. But not saying that words of affirmation, which he said was his love language, not saying that words of affirmation is a dumb thing to have. But I feel like there's words of affirmation and then there's, I need you to tell me I look pretty 24/7. And I feel like that's what he's giving me. And their relationship feels more like she's more masculine than him sometimes, even though he's like a muscly, tall, white guy. She feels more masculine to me. She's like, well, in my house, my mom's the breadwinner, and I spent more time with my dad. So maybe that will be their dynamic, which is 100% fine. I just personally don't really like them together. I think it's a strange pairing. Not necessarily looks-wise, because she's very pretty, and he's not my type, but he all right, you know? I think they could possibly work out, but, you know, we'll see. The next couple that we are going to talk about is my absolute favorite as of right now. Nobody's giving me Lauren and Cameron from season 1 at all. Nobody's touching them. But Ayana and Jared, they're giving black love, okay? And I think I want them to be together. I really do. I think they really bonded and connected through their personal life traumas. And I don't know. I want that for them. When they met each other's parents and she met his parents, I felt like his family was really down to earth and genuine and actually, you know, could potentially see her as family. Obviously, all the families in a conglomerate of whatever, they all had their reservations. A lot of families were a little bit standoffish, but I personally feel like that Jarrett's family were the most genuine out of everybody that I've seen. And I really want that for Ayanna, because I feel like maybe she's missing that in her life. She didn't get adopted until she was past 18, which was weird. I think she got adopted by her godparents or something like that. She had a very, very tough life, so I can understand why it's hard for her to trust people and, you know, whatever. Also, another thing that kind of messed her up with their whole relationship dynamic is the fact that she felt like a second choice, because Jarrett, get this, basically proposed to Mallory from the love box or whatever, basically proposed to Mallory first. He didn't necessarily say, hey, will you marry me? He was just like, if I proposed to you right now, what would you do? And that's basically, you know, hey, let's get married. I'm, you know, down for this. I want to do this. I don't necessarily like, I do see where she's coming from, because mind you, it is a short span of time. You can't just get over something like that quickly. But I think that she needs a constant in her life. Although I do think Jarrett has a little bit of growing up to do, I do think that their dynamic is really, really good. And I hope the best for them. They are my couple this season. I genuinely hope that it works out really well for them and that, you know, it happens. Last but not least, my second favorite kind of couple or whatever is Deepti and Shake. I don't know how to pronounce his actual government name, so forgive me, but yes, Deepti and Shake. I actually, look, okay, obviously I'm not, you know, Indian or whatever, but I'm appreciating the brown love. Like, I'm here for that. I want them to have that traditional Indian wedding. I look up stuff like that on YouTube all the time just because I think it is so interesting. But I want that for them. And Shake, he did start off a little bit rough. He was very superficial. Like, hey, if we were at a concert right now, would I be able to put you on my shoulders? Because I guess he's like fit and into that stuff or whatever. Deepti was also one that lost a ton of weight. I guess she was chubbier before. And one thing I appreciate about her is that she did not make her losing weight a personality trait. Not trying to minimize anybody's, like, experiences in life and stuff like that. But girl, Danielle, you was doing too much. But anyways, back to Deepti and Shake. I want that for them. Shake, he's still a little bit on the fence. He said everything about her checks off all his boxes, and even more so. But the thing is, I guess he's not physically attracted to her. Like, he just doesn't want to, like, pounce on her, as however he said it in the show. He said that she reminds him of, like, an aunt or something, which I think sucks, because all of these couples have to go back and watch this footage. If they do end up married, or if they don't end up married, he's still going to be in a situation where, hey, you said the person that you were going to be with reminds you of your aunt, which really, really sucks, I think, as a woman. Like, if my husband came up to me and be like, yeah, like, you remind me of my aunt. I don't want to, like, you know, I don't want to do the whatever with you anymore. I'd be like, one, it would make me feel gross, and two, I'd be like, dang, like, that kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. So she's going to have to see that no matter what, however it slices and dices up. But I really do, I think that of all the couples, I think that Shake and Deepti, I want to be together, and Ayanna and Jarrett. Everybody else, I'm like, it can go either way. I'm not particularly here nor there for any of them. You know, I do wish the best for everybody. I don't want to be like, oh, you know, I hope they're not together. Well, let me take that back. Danielle and whatever his name is. I don't know. I keep forgetting his name. But Danielle and whoever, I think that she has a little bit of maturing to do. Because when they went to go stay with each other, like, everything that she does, oh, my friends broke my table because they were partying and dancing on it. Like, what? And she's like, I think, you know, it's because I'm 28 and the guy she's supposed to marry is like 32. But I'm like, my husband is 28 and his friends don't feel comfortable jumping on tables, getting faded and just like whatever. Nobody, like my friends, I'm 23 right now, none of my friends feel comfortable doing that. It's about your mentality and who you associate with. Like, no, nobody should feel comfortable breaking your stuff and you're just like, oh, it's cool. Like, girl, no. So I don't want them to be together. Mallory and Salvador, I think she's dry, and I really think it's because she needs a different type of guy. I think that Mallory want her a brother. Okay, she want a brother, which is okay. And who else is there? Oh, Shane and Natalie, they're strange. I'd be really surprised if they actually went through it. And I think the one that might say no would be Shane. Natalie, for some reason, she seemed so gung-ho, like, yeah, this is my person, opposites attract, I love that. So we'll see. But let me know down below what you guys think. If you watched it, if you're planning on watching it, who do you think will be married and who do you think will not be married by the end of the show? And is love actually blind? But until next time, guys, I will see you on the next one. And yes,